Greetings people of the interwebs, YouTube and all the other bits and bobs, you people of the world. Welcome to Stammerworld, which is the name of my channel. It's also the place where I live, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But this is where I'm just going to talk about all things stammer related, mainly based on my own experience, obviously, to start with. But obviously I would love it if people reacted and got involved and let me know what they thought. But in this particular video, I just want to explain a couple of things about how I got to sit here and make this video. Over the last couple of years, I've been speaking to people more about my stammer rather than just speaking to people with a stammer, if that makes sense. And I just want to share a couple of those things. Later on in the video, I am going to go through a little exercise which is basically based around the idea that I've got control over my stammer on the whole. But I can turn that off. And like I say, near the end of the video, I will show you what happens when you turn those controls off and then turn them back on again. However, how did we get here? That's what I said. Yeah, I've just started talking to people more about my stammer more recently, and it was quite interesting. Like, I started off talking to people that I know and people who know me, obviously, and I branched out a little bit. And over the past couple of years, I've spoken to people like HR managers and, well, my own HR manager at the time. Other individuals, doctors, that kind of stuff. Just in general conversation. It wasn't a case, I didn't sit in front of anybody and say, I'd like to talk to you today about my stammer. It just tried to bring it into the conversation just to see what people's reactions were. And there are two things that really seem to be quite common in my experience. The first thing was that people were very surprised about the fact that I would say to them, I've got a very bad stammer. So I'll say to you now, I've got a very bad stammer. So that was the first thing. The second thing was that once they'd accepted that, because I would show them, the second thing was always, you have to work like that every single time you speak. It was a surprise at how much effort it takes to talk. And I'm sure out there, if you've got a stammer and you work at it, then you obviously know what I'm talking about. If you haven't got a stammer, you might be close to someone who does, but you might not be. You might be from another walk of life, if you like, not part of Stammerworld. But it was, I mentioned it before, HR managers, managers in general, people in the medical community, if you like, you know, nurses, doctors, that kind of stuff. See, there we go again. Teachers and trainers. So, what I would say to them is, right, look, I know I've got a stammer. I accept that I have a stammer. And I do an awful lot of work all the time. I'm just going to talk you through some of the little things, not in a great amount of depth, that allow me to communicate in a better way. And I do it all the time. And I would also just like to point out at this stage, I don't have any formal qualifications in this, in the form of, what's it called, disclosure, whatever the phrase is. I don't have any formal qualifications as a speech therapist. All I can do is explain to you what I do, how it works for me. And like I say, I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail now. I will do other videos on these individual components, but I just want to get across to you that it's possible. One of the things that always got on my nerves, especially when I was a trainer and that kind of stuff, is there's a phrase which is, doesn't matter what you're trying to do, whether you want to be a better baker, whether you want to learn a musical instrument, whether you want to make money on the stock market, whatever you really want to do, someone will always turn around and say, it's difficult, you know. Well, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Well, that's true. But the implication is that it's difficult, therefore you shouldn't do it, because you probably won't be able to. Well, that's rubbish, isn't it? If you want to do something and it's difficult, you will put the effort in. And if you want to manage your stammer, you just have to put the effort in. Find things that work for you. For me, it's things like I do have to control my breathing, and I've worked at it quite a lot, so that lots of times it's not that noticeable. I use things like, you probably noticed, mobile hands, maybe a distraction tool sometimes, that kind of thing. Mouth position. Learn what specific words actually give you trouble, and just concentrate on where your tongue is in your mouth. And if you can change it, change it. I used to have a problem with T's all the time, so I would try and say the number 2, and then I looked at where my tongue was, and now when I say 2, I push my tongue forward, so it's like behind the back of my teeth, so 2 doesn't become a problem, whereas 2 is. It's weird, isn't it? So lots of different things, but what I'm going to do now is what I said I'd do at the start of the video. Like I say, this is just a very general intro. If this kind of stuff really interests you, whether you are a stammerer, whether you are related to a stammerer or you're a partner of, but equally important in my eyes, if you don't think you're related to Stammerworld at all, you are a manager, you are in control of a group of people, individuals in that team might have issues with their stammering and you've never really thought about it. I'd be really interested to hear from people. And if you are a stammerer watching this, stick this video in front of someone who hasn't got a stammer and see what see how they react. Anyway, right, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start steadily switching off all the little tricks and techniques that I do. I'm going to hide my arms. I'm going to hide them. I'm going to keep them still. Slouch a little bit, I think, and because when I start working on my stammer, you can see it's there. It's always there, and I think part of my experience has been that I'm not going to get rid of it. So all I could try and do is manage it. Okay, that's probably enough of that, isn't it? So let's start getting back. I'm going to get my arms free again. I'm going to sit up a little bit. I'm going to now I'll start to concentrate again on my speech. Then I'm going to start to project. I'm going to talk to somebody who's way behind the camera, if you like, so they can hear me. And here we are. I think we're back. I think. Yeah, I think so. And apologies if that was an uncomfortable watch. Because I think that's something else that sometimes gets lost in the communication between a stammerer and a non-stammerer, is the acceptance on the part of the stammerer that sometimes the condition can actually put people, again, it can put them in an uneasy place, and as long as you accept that, then you'll move forward. So, like I say, if this has been interesting, hit the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. I'd like to get as many people out there interested in this as possible. I'm aware at the moment there's obviously a big campaign for getting more people in the media. YouTube's a media. Let's get out there, make your own videos and all the rest of it. And hopefully we'll expand into how to do that as well. But for now, that's an introduction to Stammerworld. Speak to other people. Let them know what's going on. Let's get the word out. See you again soon. Thank you.